Commander Zethara had seen many impossible things in her 3 centuries of service to the Galactic Council. She had witnessed the birth of stars, the collapse of civilizations, and the first contact protocols with 17 different species. But nothing had prepared her for this moment. Standing on the bridge of her flagship, staring at the transmission data that defied every law of physics she knew. "Confirm the readings," she ordered, her voice steady despite the tremor in her secondary hearts. "Confirmed, Commander," replied her sensor operator, a young Catherian whose chromatophores flickered with uncertainty. "The signal is definitely originating from the Sol system. Grid coordinates match the 3rd planet, Earth, the lost world. The legend whispered in academy halls and veteran cantinas across the galaxy. 300 years ago, humanity had been on the verge of joining the Galactic Council. First contact had been successful, trade agreements drafted, cultural exchanges planned. Then, overnight, they had simply vanished. Not destroyed, not evacuated. Vanished. Every probe sent to Earth had found the planet completely empty. No humans, no technology, no trace of the civilization that had built sprawling cities and reached for the stars. The planet had been pristine, as if humanity had never existed at all. After decades of fruitless investigation, Earth had been declared a dead world and quarantined. "What's the nature of the signal?" Zethara asked. "It's complex, Commander. Multi-dimensional quantum entanglement patterns, but the mathematical framework is unlike anything in our databases. The signal appears to be a greeting and an invitation." Zethara's tactical officer, a grizzled Vorthon veteran named Krax, stepped forward. "Commander, this could be a trap. The humans were always unpredictable." That was putting it mildly. In their brief contact with humanity, the Council had learned that humans were the only known species to have evolved on a death world, a planet where nearly everything was trying to kill them. While other species had developed advanced technology to overcome their environments, humans had adapted themselves, becoming something that shouldn't have been possible. A species equally capable of profound compassion and terrifying violence. "Set course for Earth," Zethara commanded. "Full diplomatic escort, and activate all defensive systems." The journey took 18 days. As they approached the Sol system, Zethara couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. Her crew reported strange sensor echoes, gravitational anomalies that appeared and disappeared without explanation, and quantum fluctuations that suggested the presence of technology far beyond Council understanding. Earth looked exactly as it had for 3 centuries, blue and green and beautiful, with no signs of civilization visible from orbit. But the signal was stronger now. A complex harmony of mathematics and music that seemed to resonate with the ship's quantum core itself. "Incoming transmission," the communications officer announced. "It's... Commander, they're speaking every language in our database simultaneously, and some that aren't." The main screen flickered to life, showing not the familiar form of a human, but something that made Zethara's breath catch. The figure was humanoid in basic structure, but its skin seemed to shift between matter and energy, and its eyes held depths that suggested vast intelligence and experiences beyond measure. "Greetings, friends of the Council," the being said, its voice somehow warm and ancient at the same time. "We are pleased that you have come. We have been waiting for the right moment to reconnect." "I am Commander Zethara of the Galactic Council," she replied, fighting to keep her voice steady. "Are you human?" The being smiled, an expression both familiar and utterly alien. We were human once, just as you were once single-celled organisms in primordial seas. Evolution, Commander, is not merely biological. It is consciousness expanding beyond the limitations of flesh, beyond the boundaries of space and time. What happened to humanity? Zethara asked. Why did you disappear? We didn't disappear, the being replied. We transcended. 3 centuries ago, we faced a choice. Remain bound by physical limitations or take the next step in our development. We chose to evolve beyond matter, beyond the 3-dimensional space you currently occupy. Crack stepped forward, his hand instinctively moving toward his weapon. And now you've returned. Why? The being's attention shifted to the Vorthan, and for a moment, Crax froze as if something vast and incomprehensible was examining his very soul. Because evolution is not meant to be solitary. We have spent 3 centuries learning, growing, becoming something new. But we remember what we were, and we remember those we left behind. The galaxy has changed since you left, Zethara said carefully. There have been wars, new alliances, technological advances. We know, the being interrupted gently. We have been watching, learning from your struggles and triumphs. The Threnody conflict, the Silicon Wars, the formation of the Council of Minds. We observed it all, and we realized that our evolution was incomplete. Incomplete how? We became beings of pure thought and energy, capable of existing across multiple dimensions simultaneously. We gained the ability to manipulate matter and energy at the quantum level, to travel instantly across vast distances, to process information at speeds that would burn out your most advanced computers. The being paused, and something like sadness flickered across its features. But in our transcendence, we lost something precious. The ability to grow through struggle, to find meaning in limitation, to create beauty from imperfection. Zethara felt a chill run down her spine. What are you proposing? A new form of cooperation. We offer our knowledge, our perspective from beyond physical existence. In return, we ask to observe, to learn once again what it means to face challenges, to overcome obstacles through determination and ingenuity rather than pure power. The bridge fell silent except for the hum of the ship's systems. Zethara looked around at her crew, representatives of a dozen different species, each evolved in their own unique way, but all still bound by the fundamental challenges of physical existence. And if we refuse? She asked. The being's smile never wavered. Then we will wait. We have learned patience beyond measure. But consider this. Every species faces the same eventual choice we faced. Whether in 1,000 years or 1,000,000, you too will reach the point where biological evolution reaches its limits. When that time comes, wouldn't you want guides who remember what it was like to be where you are now? As Zethara looked into those ancient alien eyes that had once been human, she realized that humanity hadn't just evolved beyond recognition. They had evolved beyond categories entirely. They were no longer the fierce, adaptable species that had once impressed and worried the Council in equal measure. They had become something else entirely, something that remembered being human, but could never truly be human again. The question was, what would they become next? We'll need time to discuss this with the Council, Zethara said finally. Of course, the being replied. We have all the time in the universe. After all, we helped create several of them. As the transmission ended, Zethara stared at the peaceful, blue world below and wondered if humanity's greatest achievement wasn't their transcendence, but their willingness to reach back and offer a hand to those still climbing.